gotta do some things here. Wait 1 second, y'all. Let me get the preview up on this side. Alright. Wow, so are these both on then? Interesting. So I actually, these overheating now? No. Wow. Those cameras are okay. Alrighty. So, right now, I am indeed a little bit injured, but that's okay. I'm gonna pop over here. I think it's, I don't remember the, yeah, like a 7, huh? Zoom? It looks pretty good. Here, let's just put a cup over here for a second. Oh, hello, it's nice to see you too. I've been away for a little bit. I just realized I'm not really wearing, like, pants. Well, shit. It's whatever. It doesn't really matter. I'm wearing pants. I'm just wearing leggings. So I look a little silly. But it's okay. Life is gonna go on. But that looks like it's in focus now. So I'm gonna swap over to camera A. Camera A. There we go. Alrighty, guys. Oh, man. So. Alright, guys. So, I'll tell you a little story about what I did. So, I get a lot of boxes from doing the pottery stuff all the time, right? So I was like, all right, well, let's do something with these boxes. So I took the boxes and I went to go throw them away, right? But I'm not going to throw them away here. I live in an apartment, and I don't want to like make the trash difficult for the garbage guys, right? Like, I'm not going to just throw a bunch of boxes everywhere. And so I drove to like a local school, and I just throw my stuff in their big dumpster, right? Well, as I was going to do that, the security pulled up, and I was like, oh no, like this is where I get in trouble, right? So I was like, oh, I got to take control of the situation. So I pointed at the security guy, right? And then I grabbed one of the boxes, like it was a basketball, and I was dribbling it, and then I went to go dunk the basketball in the dumpster, and I landed really awkward on my foot, and it's been a week, and it's just been getting worse and worse. It's starting to swell a little bit too, so I don't know. I'm gonna give it a couple more days before I do it, work on it. But after I dunked it, the security guard pulled up to me. He said, "That was a 10 out of 10 dunk, man." And I thought it was really cool, but I'm injured now, so not cool, right? But yeah, alright, so I think I say, ka-chow. Ka-chow. Oh, sweet, it does work. Now I forget what the word is to bring it back, though, that's the only thing. But we'll swap over to, oh my god. Whew. But, I was in pain today, so I told myself, you know what, I'm not going to stream today, Like, I'm definitely not streaming. I haven't been streaming that much. I've been recording and making stuff, I've been making a lot of these, like, trophy thingies, and I'm making, like, these Peruvian whistles, like these water whistles, which is pretty exciting. But I told myself, dang, out of all the days, I'm definitely not streaming today. And that's when I had the thought, I was like, oh wait, I know what that means. That means I gotta stream today. But, alright, hold on. So watch this, guys. So I got a couple of different new camera stuff too. So, if I let me say desk. Desk? Oh, I gotta go to camera B. So you can see I have a little desk here. Oh, ow. You can see I'm making handles. And I gotta move some of this out of the way. But you can see, it's kind of fun. I can make stuff like here, right? So you guys get a whole new little angle. I probably should turn the green screen off, but I have it on just because I can also swap it over. So if I say close in, close in, close in. Why is that not working? Is it zoom? Close in. It's so weird. Something's happening in not the right area. Hold on, guys. Oh, that's because I don't have the program open. Now it should work. Close in. Close in. There we go. So now you guys can see, like, I was like thinking about, I was like, oh man, I want to have some cool, like, establishing shots and stuff. Like, say if I'm throwing on a wheel here, and I'm in the middle of a pole. So here I go. So I'm down at the bottom. And then I can say space. Look how cool that is, right? The content for that is just gonna be, it's gonna be like really cool. And then I can just say wheel, and you can get the zoomed out version of the side angle. So now I have this green screen that wraps around. So even from the side or from the front. So watch this. Camera A. Camera A. So you get me now here from this angle. And then I can also zoom. Pretty sweet. Okay, needs to be wrapped. It's weird and fuzzy. Yeah, it's only like that because over there it's getting, I'm getting reflected light from the my big green screen, my like seating green screen. And so the background, that actually what I'm planning on doing is the background of camera B, desk. So the background that you see that's all fuzzy, I'm actually gonna just make that whole background a green screen. So the whole image in the background is keyed out. So that way I only need one more light and I don't even have to worry about the back. Yeah, you know, I've just been kind of, although I have not been streaming, I do work on stuff pretty often. I gotta show you some of these too. Alright, so hold on. Shelf. Alright, so we're gonna get some of these little whistles. I made two of these little whistles. They're kind of shitty. I'll be honest with you guys, they're kind of shitty. But that's the point of them, right? So I'm gonna not play them too loud, right? Because again, I have neighbors, right? I made a couple of these whistles, right? So, here we go. Let's sit here. Alright, so I play this whistle, right? And then I got this one. Has these two little lines here. Right? And I got this other one. The coolest thing about this too, like look at the focus. The focus can change. I can bring things up close. Look, when you play the. I thought that shit was so funny. I just kept laughing. I just kept laughing about it. Just making some of these, they're really shitty, right? They're not like well made, but they're gonna be whistles for some larger stuff here that I'm working on. So I'll show you one of them. I have 5 of them made so far. Well, I have 6 made, but 5 of them here drying slowly. So I'll swap over to camera A. Zoom. Alright. Oh, my foot. Okay, here we go. Alright, so look at that. So on this thing, alright, let's get over to the thing here. But you can see on this one, how cool is this thing looking? Right, so it's a tree on top of it's a tree on top of this for the neck of a vessel, but you can see how they're both connected. These 2 chambers are connected, and then a whistle will go on. I'll show you. The whistle will go right on here, somewhere in this secondary one right here, just stuck right in the top. I don't really need them to look good right now. I just want to make them work pretty well. But as you pour water in this vessel here, and you pour it to the other side, right? That transition of the water, there's going to be air that's stuck in this other chamber here that wants to get out, right? And it's going to, there's nothing that would eventually get out through the same vessel or the opening here. And that's what you see in like a glug jug, right? Well, if I put my little whistle boy right on that side, now air is going to have to pass through that instead of passing through back through here, and then it's going to make that whistle noise. And the cool thing about it is as the air in the water whistle dissipates on that one side, it's going to change the pressure in which the water's or the air is coming out of the whistle. So they kind of have this like whining, like a, you know, like a. Does that make sense? Like it's like you're getting damaged in a video game or some shit. Okay. Anyway, so now we're gonna go to desk. Camera B. Okay, desk. Is this desk? No. Desk. Desk. I wonder if it's. Well, I'm gonna check my thing just to make sure it's not the other. It did go back to the. What's so weird? That's why it's not working again. Now it should work. Way better. Okay. Well, here we go. Ugh. If you do a stream, how to make a turtle flute. Yeah, that works. Some people have made these water whistles. I think if you just look up water whistles, you'll see a lot of different ones, but I think this one is specifically ripping off the shape of the Peruvian water whistle, you know. I almost wonder, do you think this is a good area for me to attach these handles on? Or maybe I should do them over on the other side, but we'll kind of get there as we get there, right? But all I'm doing right now is I'm just scratching that side, and I'm going to be scratching this side up here. And usually I like to get these out. So I pulled a bunch of handles before, maybe yesterday, and I put them in a wet box. And so now they're pliable and workable, but they also keep their shape, right? And you might look at these and be like, dang, these are the most boring shapes I've ever made. And you'd be right. You'd be right. These are boring. But I don't know. There's a lot of projects that are not really related to my work that I do, that I just have to get done. And so I procrastinate on them for a while, because I was doing all the tree stuff, and so now I've just been kind of trying to get on top of that. But here we go. I'm going to hold it like this. I'm going to take one side, I'm going to touch this right up on the top. I'm going to touch this right on the bottom. I'm going to push in with my thumbs to really make sure I get a squeeze, right? The most important part about the handles is the squeeze. And you see how little I've touched this shape? You want to touch and bend this as little as possible, and that's how you can make it look really nice. And do I like that? I would say this looks a little bit far away from the vessel to me, right? The actual handle. So I'll do, again, I'll be right in here. I'll just try to hold my thumb and push my thumb down. It's going to bring that closer to the vessel here, while still keeping some of that roundness to the thing. Again, I got to be careful. I'm already touching it maybe a little bit too much. But I think that looks pretty good, you know? I think that has a great little shape to it. Tape on the surface. Look at it exactly. Yeah, that's a good idea. I think the only reason I keep it on is because I like the feeling of walking and bringing things like really close. Like if I wanted to bring something really close, like you guys can see this like really quickly, you know. So until I can get a voice thing that can like a voice command that can just change it to autofocus right away, like when I want to do something like that. But I see what you mean. It probably is a little bit trippy for a viewer. You can also see the line. People will look at these and they'll think that they're extruded because of that line. Look at it just swap between them. It's better if it's in the middle, huh? No? Maybe it's because there's so much dark area. But you see this little ridge? A lot of people will think that these are really, what's the word called? Extruded handles, right? That's my favorite thing, is when somebody will say like, wow, like, you have an extruder? Or did you extrude those? I'm like, no. I know it's kind of an ego thing, but there's something that's kind of enjoyable about making handles that look pretty clean. And I feel like that ridge just kind of sets it off for me. But, alright, we'll set this over here. We got a couple of cool ones too, but we're going to keep on cruising because I do want to get these done in a reasonable time frame. I got 6 more to do. Alright. So you'll see, I'll bring these up over here. I got these long handles, right? And so I'll cut these up into 3 little sections. Maybe I'll do 2 because one end's getting a little bit thicker, so I've decided that I don't really want that there as much. And maybe I'll try on this next one, I'll bring myself over to the wheel. We'll attach it on over there. Alright, camera A. Okie dokie, we'll set this there for a second. That's gonna be out of focus for a moment, so let me get me and my bum leg over here and picking up this thing. See, it's still a little bit wet. Actually, let me sit this down for a second. I should be letting these dry maybe a little bit faster, but a lot of those connection points that I had, they didn't feel like they were good, so I just want to make sure I kind of got those to dry slow. Like the clay that was attaching was too thin. I was like, oh gosh, if that dries too fast, that's just screwed. Okay, we'll be over here. Alright, you guys chill out for a second. Oh, dude, I literally feel like I'm a zombie. I want to get into ceramics so bad. What all did you do or supply when you first started? Well, I started when I was in school still, so a lot of this stuff was really easily accessible to me. Uh, so I think that's kind of my main thing, is I had access at the beginning, you know. I always think about if I had started like when I was in high school, I just imagine how good I would be. So if it's really inaccessible to you at this moment, you know, that's okay. You don't have to do just the wheel. There's other ways to partake in making ceramic objects, right? And so I would say do what you can that is most accessible to you in that moment. Even if it's Play-Doh, you know. I know it sounds kind of silly, but that's how I would get started. Because you're going to learn a lot more just by doing the thing than, I guess, trying to find the perfect facility to start. It's better, this is my personal opinion, it's better just to start. Why am I even over here? Oh, I wanted to bring the water over. Okay. Here we go, guys. Sweet. Alright, so we're over here. Oh, yowie, yowie, yowie. Oh, I'm going to turn my hammer just a little bit more over here. Okay. I've been doing a pottery event a few days ago and thought about you. I bought some really beautiful glazed artsy tiles. In fact, most of the interesting stuff was glazed. Interesting. I think tiles are kind of cool. Although I think a lot of tiles are like press molded, which makes sense, right? But there's something about a tile that has like weird undercuts that really make them feel wild. So whenever it comes to tiles, that's usually what I look for. And I need to grab my knife. Sorry I'm moving slow. I feel like I'm just, I feel like somebody's tied bricks around my legs. There we go. Alrighty. Okay. Is this autofocusing on me? I turned autofocus off. Maybe it's just not in focus properly. Zoom? Zoom? Yeah, maybe it's just not in focus. There we go. That's good. Okay. There we go. Alrighty. So again, I have just a flat little chunk that I cut off. I'm going to hold it. And I'll swap over to camera B. Camera B. Close in. Close in. Okay, so when I'm holding this, you can see what I'm going to do with my hand. My hand might cover this actually, so let me see here. I'm going to take these two fingers and I'm pushing this over top of this finger here, right? So you can see I'm just going over top of that finger. I'm going to start bending this in, so you can see I'm starting to get a little curl here. I'm starting to bend this in and pinch a little bit on this flat side, because that's where I'm going to be scratching to get that handle on there. Okay. I think that looks okay, right? And now, instead of trying to bend this the way that we want, I'm going to hold these two ends here. I'm just going to slowly bend this into place, right? And so now I have a pretty nice shaped handle, and I held it from the two ends to get that bend, right? If you try to micromanage all those little bends, you're just going to be out of luck. At least I find that I'm not steady or even enough with every time I tap on that thing, right? Next thing I do is you can see I have a little paintbrush. I'm just dabbing some slip on there, lining it up, setting it down. How do you feel about that? Maybe a little bit taller, right? This is kind of a smaller handle to this vessel. We'll start it there. Okay, give it a little shake. And now what you're going to see, you're actually going to see two little dots, right? These dots, and we're going to start the scratching. space. Okay. I kind of call this one space because we're going up to space. That's the reason why it's called space. I'll come up with better names one day. Although I feel like I always say that. You should have seen what it was before. Before I was streaming today, it was some weird stuff. I have one of them. I was trying to make it so it fits in a sentence better, because you know how I have to pause and then say it. I wanted it to be part of the sentence, and so I had them. They were like really long. It's like, and now we're going up, and it would go up, right? Like it made me. It was kind of cringe. It felt too bland. I thought space as give me some space. Interesting. I actually kind of like that reading on it better. That makes more sense, to be honest. So you can see, pushing. We'll actually go back into close in. So you can see I'm setting it right on there. And here's where I'm using my two thumbs, and you kind of want to make sure you really push this in, but you don't want to compromise the roundness of this, right? And so I think right now, again, this looks okay, but it sits a little bit far away. If you want that to be like that, it's totally fine. But I find that I don't like that as much when I'm holding something as when it's kind of up close. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bend these in. And just very slowly pushing this towards that vessel. And I think that brings it really nice and tight towards the vessel, and it just makes a nice little shape there, right? You won't see me make handles very often, and you know, I just think that they don't feel like me, you know. I kind of like the gnarly stuff, but again, I'm making stuff that's not really for me right now, so yeah, that's what it is. Alright, so there's another one. I think this one looks kind of nice. Alright, wheel. Wheel. Ooh. Alright, I'm gonna go over here. Alright, there's another one. Done. And it's not really totally in line there, so I'm gonna bring that up a little bit. Now we're done. Okay, so now, up on here. Desk. Okie dokie. So you can see how on these, when I'm making these, they're like the one side is a little bit thicker and this side's thinner. So that's when I'm gonna cut probably about here. It looks okay. This would be a good size for this cup. I'm gonna walk back over. Wheel. And we're back down. Ooh. Okie dokie. I love background, nature sounds, but I think there's something good to be said about seeing the whole process of a work in one video. If you can, you should probably show everything. Yeah, I think you're probably right about that. I just, I haven't, what's it called? I just haven't been streaming, that's all. I will do, but I feel like this is kind of like a one-off thing. You won't see me do a lot of handle making. Alright, maybe we'll do it from the front this time. So, camera A, zoom. Okay, so again, bring that in first, curling that around. I'm just going to hold these two ends and kind of set that in place. I kind of like these ones that dip inwards towards the vessel. I think it has a nice little thing for your thumb to set in, right? You just want to make sure that this corner doesn't get too sharp where your finger can't fit in there. I had a couple of those happen before. Alrighty. So here we go. It's actually not a software, it's a webcam. So I got a webcam because I only have so many slots that I can fit a video capture card for different cameras, right? And so when that transition effect, when you see it move over to me, that's actually just that gimbal moving. So it's a little webcam on a gimbal, and I can set different locations where it's set, and I have it so it's activated. And they have hotkey things, which, oh my gosh, thank God that the webcam has like a hotkey thing, because then I can just program the voice to press those hotkeys, right? So I mean, it really worked out quite cleanly for me, more so than what it normally does. You can see again, I'm patching that on that side, 2 little dots. Okay. Grab our little scratchy scratch tool. Again, just bring this in. I'm going to try to be a little bit more fast here, just because I'm talking too much, I think. Okay. Pushing that in. Setting this one. So pushing that in. Alright. I think that's pretty nice. I kind of like this one. Okay. So again, whenever I finish, oh damn, 360 gimbal controlled by voice commands, games living in the future. Yeah, well, my main thing, this webcam, this is a real camera, but watch, camera B. So like this, I mean, I try to get it close. It's a little bit, the coloring is a little bit different, because also the lighting over here is actually not that great. So then I have to bump up the ISO, which kind of makes it a little bit more grainy. That's why you're kind of seeing a lot of that graininess over on the other side as well, because even though it's getting reflected light from the big green screen, the green color, the ISO is just bumped up so high that so I need to actually get more lights in this spot. I have a big open light bulb, but light socket, but I haven't yet. Okay. Ooh, okay. Desk. Barely noticeable. Sweet. Alright, so there's another one. So we'll set that one here. And I think you can see again, I'll bring this up close. If you see that one side's a little bit thicker of a taper here. And so like if I go to cut this, I found that over the years of making these handles, that thickness there is maybe a little bit too thick. So you can do it as you want, right? If you kind of want a thicker attachment. This feels like when it's not even, do you see how it wants to crease more? It's bending until it gets that thickest point. So I just kind of cut off the ends if I have to. I just don't even care. Okay. Hello, look at this, a new friend. Time for surgery. I always feel like I'm like, have a scalpel or something here. Alright, doctor. Incision there. Great. And we got another one. Let's do this. This will be good. So, oh. It's going to be our one of the next one. Alright. Wheel. Wheel. Oh, man. I'm telling you, the foot pain is unlike anything I've ever had to deal with before. This is really, it's really miserable. But, alright. So here we go. Again, curling it over those fingers. So, close in. So again, you see how I'm just tucking my hand underneath there. Also, I found that if you want to make a 4-finger handle, you want to be able to fit 3 fingers in before it touch it. Or if you want to make a 4-finger, you need to have like some space in between, or 5 fingers. You always like reduce a finger. So if I wanted a 2-finger, I'd use 3 fingers, right? If I wanted a 1-finger, I'd use 2, right? And kind of lock it up in there. And you got to imagine that this is going to shrink, and you're going to have a glaze over top of this. So it's actually going to shrink that quite a bit. There's nothing worse than when you make a bunch of small dainty handles and you're like, oh, perfect, one finger fits. And then you glaze it and you're like, oh, shit, no fingers fit. So, okay. Anyway, I'm gonna hold the end here, and just kind of bend that right into place. And then now we're gonna make sure we kind of line this up, and we're looking. Okay, so where do I need to cut it? Right? I feel like I need to cut this one at a diagonal wider so it fits the bottom surface of this, right where my pinky's touching. And then this top one, I'm gonna bend that up a little bit, right? And the more you do the handles, the more you'll kind of get a hang of how to attach them. Some people like to make the same looking handle on every piece. To those in which do that, go for it, you know. But for me, the clay's gonna bend in easier ways, and I like to kind of make every one fit a little bit better. Some people might say that's bad, you know, like get your what's it called, your tolerances in order. But to them I would say that's not really what it's about for me. Okay, here we go. A little bit of water and tap on the surface so you can see how this bottom one fits on that contour there, right? The more you can have the handle fit that contour, the better the end result's going to turn out too. You should go get my foot x-rayed. You don't want your foot to be broken and then heal back fucked up. Yeah, I just don't know what I did. Well, I know what I did, but I don't know what is really wrong with it. But I'm planning on doing that. I just have work and stuff, so I don't know. I don't even know if I can take off work, if that makes sense. And also to get somebody to see me, I don't even know. But I don't even really want to talk about it. I feel like that stuff is not pottery related. That's good. Okay. Also, you can see how I'm doing this here. I have one hand on the inside, and I want to have it on the other side where this thing is. And so that way I can kind of push the clay, but the two things of clay together. Right, and I really have that squeeze, and that's what sets that space for me, right? Because once you have that squeeze, everything wants to stick a little bit better, and then that's when I bring out the brush and kind of paint those edges. When I look at that, still, you can kind of feel, don't you guys feel that it's wide? I mean, some people might like this, right? It sits far away, but I've found that after I fire them, the ones that are wide like that, they end up not looking right to me. So if I'm looking at that, this looks like it's pretty dang close to being right on the money. A little bit narrow there, so I just want to be careful I don't go too. I think that looks pretty good. A little bit narrow on this top, so I just got to be a little bit more careful. I just don't want to put too much handprints on this stuff. Okay, bottom, this top here, this top here. But I think this is like one thing I think about is sometimes when I look at art, anything art related online, and it's in a stream format, I think it just gets boring, right? And maybe some people find it a little bit peaceful, but I feel like when I'm doing these similar, you know, the trees is different because everyone kind of results a little bit differently. Like when I do handles, like this to me doesn't feel like it's different from the other stuff. But, alright, desk. So I think I need to come up with new ways to make things more interesting. And I'll show you one of those ways towards the end of the stream, but it's essentially using like one of my hobbies as a younger kid, you know, as a source for making more enjoyable stuff. If you go to camera A, you'll see, do you see that blue thing on the top there? That right there is in fact a, also this will be the one I need it a little bit longer, right? Yeah. Oh, I might have screwed up here. No, I'll be okay. But that is a heat gun on a microphone stand. How cool is that? So, those trophies I've been making, they take me a little bit longer than a day to finish, right? Oh, yeah. It's been a week. Trust me, yo, I'll be good. Alrighty. But what was I saying about the? Oh yeah, the heat gun. So I can make larger things and finish them in the same day, right? And I was thinking, well, while that heat gun is going, what am I gonna do? Just sit here? Maybe I'll sit here. Maybe I'll dance or something over on the big green screen, right? But what I was thinking about doing is I have a GameCube, and so I souped up a GameCube quite a long time ago. And oh, that looks like really nice. Souped up a GameCube a really long time ago because it's just like a little nerdy thing I like to do, right? And so I hooked it up, and I have some like games downloaded on it. So while I'm doing the heat gun thing, maybe I'll play a game or something, right? So let's see here. Yes, I gotta be more responsible with how this looks, huh? Maybe I gotta give myself some more room in your hand part here. I think that looks pretty nice. What's camera B? Wheel. Close in. There we go. Get this over here. Epic. I'm just gonna kiss the handle right to that side there. I think this one looks really good. Alright. Look healthy? Oh, thanks. I've been trying to brush my hair more. I had the worst mat in my hair ever. It was like I was ripping out, you'd swear like there's a couple of hamsters that were trapped in my hair. It took me like an hour and a half to get them out, and after I had that moment, I pulled out so much of my own hair, I was like, alright, never again, I gotta brush more. So, yeah. But no, I didn't take a vacation. I just been making stuff and then teaching, you know. I've been trying to just keep up on that. Also been trying to talk with my buddies more. That's actually what those water whistles are for. This is a secret, so I hope they don't see this. But I'm making like a ritual. Right, I'm making a ritual. And the ritual is going to include the water whistles. One of my friends is moving back, not near me, but back near where a lot of my other friends live. So I wanted to host a little get together. And I mean, look at that handle. This one looks really nice. Alright, desk. Desk. But I'm going to come out in like a robe, and I'm going to give each of these people a water whistle. And I mean, they're probably not going to know what they are unless they see the stream. And also, this is a cool thing. So sometimes, you see what I'm going to do here? I'll rest the handle on another vessel so it dries a little bit more perked up, right? So just a little tip, if you're noticing that you're having hard things, like handles or attachments are drooping, use your other vessels. That's another reason to make multiples. Use those other vessels as a support for them, right? But yeah, I'm going to be doing a ritual with my buddies, which I think will be fun. I have a whole thing planned out. I'm even going to get like a robe, like a cult robe. Alright, sorry about that. Alright. Camera A. Just play one when coming in from darkness, and then give the whistles to your friends. They'll understand. Yeah, I'm telling you, I think it's really gonna be something like that. Yeah, it's really gonna be like I want it to be cool, you know. All right, camera B. Close in. Close in. This one maybe go out a little bit more. Kind of like it a little bit more squatty. You see how I pulled that out? But I think oftentimes I forget that, you know, as much as I diss on pottery and ceramics, even though I do it, which is kind of weird, but there is something that's really cool about being able to make objects, right? And not just any objects. Like, I think a lot of people get stuck on the whole, you know, mugs, cups, and bowls. I think the real power of pottery is like personalized, specific gifts for like some sort of, you know, maybe ritual is not the right word, but like some little an event or a moment, right? Like you make these objects that hold moments in them, right? So you make them hyper personalized in some way, or you make them used in a particular way that's not necessarily a normal way to use it, right? Or not a normal interaction, so it becomes special. I think that's really where ceramics will always, in my opinion, or even just the crafts in a lot of ways, will go over fine art to some degree. I think objects and objects that you interact with are so important for human connection. Okay, here we go. Again, be right on there. And I'm pushing. Again, set that on there like that. You can see I'm pushing this down. I'm keeping that curve. You see how I'm just plucking that there? And then what I'm going to do is I'm pushing from here, and it squishes this, but it makes that bond a little bit tighter, right? So again, down, 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 down. It's okay. The other side's a little bit, see, it's not as nice on this side as it is there, but Glaze will cover a lot of that up. So I try not to freak out about it too much. There we go. We got this. Again. Put this here. Paint, 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 paint. Paint, paint, paint. Alright. Alright, desk. Desk. Epic. Here we go. 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 Look at that. This is the last one. And then I have a whole table of them. I have like, I don't know, is this like 20 something? 1, 2, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Oh no, just 20. Yeah, I remember. I can get one whole bag. From a bag of 25 pounds, including the making of handles, I can usually get 20 mugs. Size of the mug obviously changes how many you can get out of it, though. Alright. Close in. Okay. So again, grabbing this over my finger. You can see I'm kind of just like working that open. 1 pound equal 20 mugs. 1 pound per, no, 20 pounds. 1 pound equal 20 mugs. I don't know why I'm not understanding that. 1 pound equals 20 mugs. No, 25 pounds equals 20 mugs. I have like, obviously you get some left over from extra you cut off, right, from the throwing process, and that gets reclaimed, right? And then you got the handles to make all the handles for everything, and so usually you have some left over from the top of where you're pulling the handles from. So, I mean, if I was really efficient, I think I could get like 23 mugs. But that's me like trying too hard. If there becomes a point where you actually sacrifice the quality of an object by trying to get to that thing. 25 pounds equals 20 mugs. Yes. Do you fire them? Do they work raw? Yeah, I'll fire these ones. I'll show you the most recent ones I made are these ones. These ones are kind of crazy looking. They almost look dreamy glaze. Dreamy glaze. Okay. But you can see, I'll try to be slow with this, but this is the surface. I got a lot of blues, and I got some pink blushes, and I got some greens, and these are so when I talk about cups, like a singular one, like if I was to make 25 out of 25, these are the types of cups I would make, right? So they're like, this is that bottom stuff that gets trimmed off the bottom. I attach that back on to become the handles, and they're kind of weird, they never really work, like, hold it like this. But it's more about the action of it coming back together onto the vessel, right? And so I have a little spirally, so I don't trim the bottoms. This is drop mold. I have a drop mold that I just drop this on, and then it gets a little spiral. It's a way of finishing the bottoms, but that's how I've been making the insides, like this pinkish speckled pink glaze. The speckled pink glaze is actually it's actually a funny thing about it. It happened because I had a student, and they took all the white and the clear glaze, and they actually mixed the inside together. They mixed them together, so they mixed the white and the clear. And in doing so, they ruined the thing. They were dipping outside of the bucket. They were doing something where they poured it into another container, and then they mixed them, and so they screwed up the whole glaze. So I had to remix both those glazes, but now I had a bunch of glaze that, I mean, what is it? I don't even know what it's going to turn out like. It turned out that it wasn't that different. It just looked like a whitish clear, like it just looked like a glazed donut or something. And so I thought it kind of looked terrible. And nobody's going to use that if they can use just normal clear, just normal white. And so what I ended up doing is I was like, all right, well, let's see what I can do. And so I added, I have some of this pink glaze I made that uses this red mason stain, And so I took a bunch of that glaze and I kind of mixed it in because I wanted to get it a little bit pinkish. And then I added some granular manganese dioxide in there. And that is what those little speckles on the inside are too. And then I kind of got a whole new little thing. It's just a quick fix, but you'll be surprised on how much people, even just some small alteration, like people really like the pink quite a bit. Especially some of my students, like my younger students, I think they really respond well with the pink. They're always like, I'm so happy about the pink glaze. And I'm like, yes, you know, like I'm so happy that a failure of or not like a failure, but like a mistake from a student resulted in a whole new opportunity for others, right? And their objects. So, in some way, that lady got to help people make new colors on their pots. This idea of pottery donuts for teaching glazing. You know what you think as a teacher. That's so awesome, you know. Donuts are cool. Think about cheeseburgers. Somebody recently, one of my teachers, or not my teachers, one of my coworkers, I guess, he did a class where he made the kids make, you know, pickles, some like tomatoes, like a bun, and like the patty and everything out of clay, and separate, and then they glaze glued them all together. So they glazed them all separately and they stacked them, and they glaze glued together. It's actually a cool way to show people how things stick together. So you're not only teaching about glazing, but you're also showing them like a technique of attaching is glaze gluing, and you also show the students like that, oh gosh, look, like glaze sticks, right? It's sticky when it's in the kiln, right? It doesn't just like turn to this, right? And so it also could probably teach them, hey, like, make sure you don't glaze the bottoms of your pots. So just I do like the glazed donut thing. You could probably do something really similar with that, to be honest, with like the sprinkles or something. This one I'm not liking the handle as much. I think it's okay. It's mediocre, you know. Alright, and so now what I'm going to do is zoom. I'm going to probably use this time to make a video here. Interesting, I don't know how I'm going to do this. You know what? Maybe I just... Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to be able to tap center with the handle. Maybe it's more important that I just get it like moving like this, more so than anything, you know. How long does firing a glazed vessel take? The fastest I've ever glazed something was a day. Yeah. So I made the thing in the morning. I fast dried the cup in front of a fan, like super fast in the hot area. And then I just once fired it, so I glazed it at the end of the day, and I threw it in the kiln, and I sent it. And so I picked it up the next day, 24 hours. So I guess 2 days, because you have to wait for the kiln. The kiln probably takes, the glaze firing, you can probably get up to temperature in like 10 to 15 hours, depending on the temp, or the cone that you're going to, or whatever. Not temperature. So you obviously have to wait for that stuff, but just kind of a thing to think about is stuff's actually kind of quick if you want it to be. I finished, in half a week I finished 280 of these weird mugs with weird handles on them. Like, you can cruise with stuff if you if you choose to. You know, you just kind of, you have to figure it out, right? It doesn't just happen. You kind of have to figure out what's the ways that you're working and how can you speed it up. That's why I don't normally trim. That's why I don't normally pull handles. That's why, you know, I don't really like to make like smooth, simple objects. There's a lot of these little things that actually like get in the way of your time. So you kind of, I've learned that you kind of just have to like pick and choose what your there's one. I guess I'll set this on this little thing here. And so I'm just doing a visual so you guys can see them all. I remember what I was doing over here. I wanted to. Oh, it is in focus. Never mind. That's about as in focus as I think I'm going to get it here, guys. Alright, so there's another one. Alright. This is going to take me a second to do all this, by the way. It's close. Right now I'm just recording for a video. I'm probably going to edit of the cups. So if that's what you're wondering what I'm doing, this is how I'll do it. That's why if you ever see some of my videos and you're like, why is there something weird in the background? It's usually because I was just listening to some music. Like, I actually don't choose the background as much as I just choose the music, so sometimes it's pretty close. That's a little bit off. Okay, we gotta be responsible. Come on. That's better. So it's kind of cool. You get to see these simple shapes. This one's mid. I would probably agree. I feel like the shape of this one isn't as nice. I kind of like that. This one I would say is also, I feel like I'm going to say they're all mid, except maybe like a couple of them, because I'm just so, that's close enough. Because I'm so, what's the word? I just don't like simple stuff like this. I just don't. The handles are the only things that I think give it any sort of life to these vessels, to be honest. And then the bottoms, I mean, I just don't like trimming, so I just trimmed like a flat little spiral on the bottom as well. And I was thinking, oh, maybe I can fill it with some slip or something, and then carve it, so then I have like a weird little bottom. Put the glaze thing you showed at the very end. Totally in love with it. I need to see it again. Man, if you like those, I'm telling you, I wish I'd show you more of my glaze stuff. I have so much good stuff that I think is like way better than that stuff, but this one I think the shape is a little bit better than the other. The one that we were saying was mid, you know? This one I think is a little bit better. Yeah, I can do it some other time. I think it'd be cool to walk y'all through the history of my pots. Show you some of my favorite ones. Because, you know, I always say, like, you know, people give me stuff, and sometimes I will actually reject their offer to give me certain things. And I know at first it seems like, why? And I'm going to tell you a really, like, bad answer, right? And I think this becomes, is I like I just, I want the things that people want, right? Like, if somebody wants to give me something, I feel like they're just, I know it's not all the case, but I get the feeling like it's able to be given away, right? Like sometimes out of my friends, like I don't want the thing that they just want to give me. I want the thing that they want to keep hold of, right? Those are your gems, right? And so I want gems from other people, you know. Uh, so I will hopefully get more gems from other artists. And I'll show you guys some of my gems. That was a pretty good drop. It's a little bit off, but that's close enough. This one, I think the handle's so far out there, but the bevel back in, it's going to make it usable, you know. But you can see how this one, it just feels a little bit unbalanced. Like, there seems to be, the handle's just talking too much, and the form isn't talking loud enough. Alright. The end ones are the cool ones, though. It's a little bit off. That's still a little bit off, but it's maybe a little bit better. Yeah, I mean, I think we all have problems, to be honest. We're trying to figure them out, you know? I like this one quite a bit, though. But there's something about, like, I just like the idea that somebody out there, like, underneath their, you know, some, like, their vault or something, they got like a pot in there. It's just chilling out. And the idea of me being able to have somebody's important vessel like that is just kind of, I like the idea of it. Yeah, it's okay. This one's okay too. I kind of like this one. I like candies. Or you're talking about the pottery you were talking about earlier. If it's candy, there's only one real candy. It's Almond Joys. The rest of them, alright, Almond Joys and Jujubes. Everything else, I don't vibe with. Maybe gummy worms too are pretty good. If you're talking about pottery, yeah, I feel like even just you can share something with somebody by just asking them to have like a coffee with you or something. There we go. I actually like this one too. Tall one. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, the tall one is cool. I think it has a nice belly, like the bottom belly to it. I actually quite like this one as well. So you can see out of like the 20, maybe I get like 12 that I think are nice shapes, right? So I think 12 of them are probably nice shapes. Like 2 of them really stand out to me, but out of the 12 overall, after I glaze them, I'll probably like, like 6 of them. 6 out of 12, like half. So out of 25, you really only get 6, and every once in a while you get one that shines. I feel like out of every 100 mugs, I'll get like 5 gems maybe. Maybe not even that. Maybe that's not a good, not centered, good curves though. And this one, oh yeah, this one's, it's oval. I squashed it when I was moving it. I think there's another one that's oval too that was earlier. Oh, this one you guys didn't get to see me do. This one I think is kind of nice, this low squatting one. And this one would be really cool. I love that bevel edge. I mean, look at the way that when you see over into the inside of the vessel, you see that little line that happens. There's a highlight with the shadow of the interior. Oh my God, I just love that little bank of where light just likes to sit. Right, look at the background image of the forest right now. Right, when I look at the background image of the forest, I'm also seeing that light's hitting that bank where that water is, and it's kind of popping out ever so slightly. And then right behind her, right below it, you got the dark water, the dark forest. So it's like a pop. Same exact thing I think is happening with the rim there. I just like the way the light just sits there. Yeah, we're getting close. I think, oh, I guess the rest of them, there's one more basic one and the rest of them are the same. This one is actually not a great one though. You'll see why I don't like this one though. This one is really handle above the rim, okay. Where it might hit my face when drinking, maybe use it as a flower pot instead. The handle above the rim is okay. I actually have a couple. If you thought that one was above the rim, just wait one second. I'll show you the one that's really above the rim. But handle above the rim is okay. I think the only time I don't like handle above the rim is when you're washing something and you go to flip it over. You can't like have your pot flipped over. It's gonna bang into the handle. But you can see this one, look how thin that handle is. This one was too thin, and so it's probably gonna cut into my fingers a little bit as I have heavy ones. I used to make these really thin, sharp handles thinking that they were so nice, and then I would have them for a little bit. I'd chip all the edges, and then they'd also be sharp when I'd squeeze, like when I had water or something in it. The weight actually had just enough to make that pressure kind of dig into my finger there a little bit. Right? Alright, we got a couple more. This one is a failure, but I'll show you. This one was just like a quick one. I just had some leftover. I wedged up the scrap, so I knew it was going to be kind of a bad one. But I wedged up the scrap, and then I left the water in the bottom, so it had a water fissure, so it's tilting here, you'll see. You can see the water fissure on that bottom, but it kind of filled it, actually. So it's tilting, and then the trim stuff off the bottom, that's how I normally do the handles. You know. So it's just kind of a weird thing. I mean, it has a slight tilt to it, and I think some people would say that these ones are like the unacceptable ones, where you see the top rim where that line, the two lines, the one on the top doesn't meet back perfectly with the other one, or the handle I actually don't like as much, right? And I think it could do more, but these to me just feel like they're a little bit more, like something's happening here. Like even when Glaze fills this in, like I've found that I've had one where I was doing a single fire and I had those cracks go over the whole entire object, and I was like, oh dang, like that's not gonna work. And then the Glaze sealed it all, and I was like, oh shit, this actually looks sick. So again, you know me, I'm always thinking that sometimes the things that we deem as failures in pottery aren't necessarily failures, and you can kind of investigate them and explore them a little bit more. Okay. Here's kind of a more bulbous one. This is another one that goes above the handle. But this one you see it's more of like a single finger one, and it's a little bit more loopy. Like I almost think it reminds me of the top of a quail's head. You know how a quail will have that little dangly thing on their head? That's what it reminds me. And then now we're kind of getting into the cool ones. These are the ones that, you know, once you're doing them for a little bit, you're just like, all right, like let's spice some of them up. When I got to like the last 5, I was like, all right, let's do some cool stuff. Handles kind of similar, doing some things, more things with lines, doing some things with pattern. So really, I think I amped them up quite a bit in this one. Having some straight edges. You know, people always know me for my loosey-goosey stuff, but I'm actually a pretty tight thrower. That's how I started. And so I like doing the sharp stuff sometimes. Okay. This one is like an egg one, and I really like, you know, you can't really see the interior of it, right? But the interior, you can feel the bump or the line from this bump here. It actually feels so nice to hold. It's really egg-like. And I just like the way that I'm just drawing on the surface with these lines, you know. They kind of look like they're all over the place, but I like how it almost looks like the clay around it is like bubbling up. So it has this like inflated look to it. But again, just doing weird stuff, just kind of drawing a squiggly line, like something just simple, but sometimes it's just nice to try things, you know. It's like, I wouldn't say this is like a top 10 mug of all time, but it might interact with glaze in a new way that I haven't seen before. So there's always potential you're going to discover things with this stuff. This one's a little bit more subtle, you know. So you like the lines? You might like this one. Well, the free lines, I think maybe on some vessels they look way better because of the shape too, right? On this one, I'm doing like a small little wave pattern on the outside, but it's so subtle. I only think with a clear glaze it would actually work. Like if I put like a really opaque glaze and it covered that wave, I think this one just looks bad. And what I found is that if you look close, this handle comes to more of a pinch at that top, rounded where your finger would go, the top finger would go when you're holding the handle. It's more sharp, but then I was looking at it, I was like, oh wow, it reminds me of the peak of the waves themselves, right? Like they have like that sharp little peak click. And so there was something about it that I thought was pretty similar. All right. And this is the last one. So you talked about, what do you feel about handles above the um, handles above the rim? This is what I think about handles above the rim. And you see I even tilted it to the side too. I was thinking about if you hold your wrist, like sometimes with a wider bellied object, right? If you think about it, whenever I use a wider bellied object, I always come to a point where I tilt it enough and it really pours all out at once, right? And so I was thinking if I offset the handle and come towards myself a little bit, I have to bend the handle less towards myself, so then I can reach that threshold of where it's all going to glug out a little bit sooner, right? And so a little bit less pours out. Can't even pour it out properly. Yeah, this thing, think about it, it's going to be kind of weird. That was the last one, so I can kind of stop the wheel. Did I try? Right? And then you're just going to tilt it, right? But you see how if I guess that doesn't really change anything, to be honest. Maybe I was just getting a cap in there. In my mind, alright, I'll tell you what I was thinking in my mind. That's so embarrassing. There's no way this thing's going to work well. But in my mind, I was like, okay, it's almost like a ladle, you know? And if I tilt it, if I had a normal handle, once you reach about this point, water is, if depending on how much it's full, is going to start stopping to pour out as it fills in this stuff before it reaches your mouth, right? So I was like, okay, well, you have to tilt it even more. Look how much you have to tilt it in order to get that water out of here, right? Like, it's kind of like this little hook. So it's really unusable. Really unusable, but again, there's a little squiggly line on the top. But I am going to use it. I'll be honest. I am going to use it. something about the slight tilt had me thinking, oh, the water's gonna reach my mouth sooner, and I have to tilt my hand less, but when trying it, it doesn't really do anything. No, don't worry, I'll use it as a thing. You should see some of the ones that I use for, like, drinking vessels. I'll show you one that I actually quite like. This is a really shallow cup. It actually has somebody's terracotta piece. They put in a cone pen and it melted and attached onto my vessel. I think it looks kind of cool. But look at this. So it's really shallow. I just love this. This cup here, I think is just so nice. You can see that little speck. Camera B. So look how shallow that inside is. So I throw a vessel for him and then I make a small bowl. And I set that bowl on the inside of the vessel. So you can see it's really shallow. I just love the look of it. Because imagine using something like this, it would literally just, yeah, right, good luck, you know? To clean it, you know? So that's why I did that top. And then look, if you look really close, you can see some of the coloration. There's like these whites and these pinks and this yellow. It kind of gets shiny towards the top. There's a couple specks in there. Again, I just love this little smile there. Yeah, right? Just really subtle. I love this glaze. This glaze is one of my favorites. It's not a gem though. The glaze is not. Could this be a plate in a 3-star restaurant? Probably. I can imagine there'd be some funny stuff. Okay. Wheel. Wheel. Alright, now I'm going to show you guys something. I hope you guys think it's as epic as I think it is. GameCube. I wonder what's the voice command for me turning my, let's look at the voice commands quick. Oh yeah, I remember what it is. Oh, there's my little chair. Come on, chair. You're coming with me. We gotta play GameCube. You guys thought this was a pottery stream? No. This is a GameCube. This is a GameCube stream. And I'm gonna play a game of a game called Mario Super Strikers. Okie dokie. Oh my god, laugh out. Pottery stream, gaming stream. Alright. So we are playing... Where the heck is this? This game right here. This game, I'm telling you guys, this game is where it's at. Good? He. I should sit to this side more, huh? Oh no, this side more. Why is it not? Come on, what the heck's going on here? I gotta get mine. I'm only gonna play 1, 2, and then I'm getting off. I just wanted to show this off. I feel like it's kind of a cool update to the system here. Okay. HDMI 1? No. Okie dokie. Huh. There's no signal. That's so strange. It's weird. It's a little weird. I'm not seeing it on my... Oh, hold on a second, guys. Why is this not... Whatever. Camera A. Alright, zoom. Zoom. Maybe this is better. I don't really know why this isn't working here, guys. Whatever. It's fine, I guess. A little bit blurry, huh? Alright, so this game, I wish I could just hear what I'm doing. I might as well just turn this off. That's why it doesn't even matter. Oh. Alright, come on. You gotta be standing up for this. What are you doing? Ooh. You don't have to stay. It's all good. Oh, but I was gonna show you the. I'll show you the cup. I'll show you the cup quick. Oh my gosh, the foot. I'll show you the. I'll show you the cup. So then, if you don't want to stay, you don't have to. Because I just wanted to just play a match, just for shits and giggles. Where's this thing? Okay. So you can see it's almost iridescent, or like opalescent. It's kind of a fun little... Gosh. Wow, that freaking hurts, dude. Okay. Donkey. See, donkey. Come on, brother. You gotta get a little bit better than that. Oh, wait. Alright, so it's not... the screen is so small. It's so funny. I literally... Oh, come on, man. Dude, he ain't playing, man. Get out of here with that. What was that? He like barely hit that thing. It wasn't even that big of a deal. Nonsense. Nonsense. Winning? No. Sorry, dude. It's gonna be... Boom! I wanted to kick my foot. I can't. What the heck? But you can imagine, man, but you can imagine as I'm doing, like drying a pot or something, I just like sit up here and play like a game for like 5 minutes. I think I didn't get it. No. If I get that on this small screen here, I didn't get it again. You should stream a game of this first and then switch to Pottery. It's actually a good idea. I actually like that better. But I will do it if I need to, I will play a game if I need like 5 minutes for something to dry quick. Man, this guy's kicking my booty, dude. Come on. Come on. Don't do this. Come on, Donkey Kong, bro. What the heck? I feel like Donkey Kong's on some... He's like going hardcore mode. Man, chill. Bowser? Yeah, right, bro. How many minutes have I been playing? I have a minute left. Man, playing this game while I'm on stream here literally feels like, yeah. Oh my god, bro. It's actually 5-5. I couldn't even see the... Dude, okay. Hold on, we gotta lock in here, dude. Dudes, the freaking buzzer beater though. Oh wait, hold on, I can't step on the cup. I'm sorry, guys. What can I say? All right, GameCube. Thanks, guys, so much for watching. All the best. Strong mentality. I don't have a video playing now. Let's get this shoe back on. Oh man, that freaking hurts. Alright. Ka-chow. Look at that. Alright guys. See you around. Thanks again for stopping, I appreciate it.